Okay, today's January 26th, Wednesday, 2022. It's the last it's the last Wednesday in January, so we're going to go into the second month of the year, right? So, hello, and thank you for joining me today. Here's some things that I'd like to chat with you about, and I hope that you'll find this interesting. So, grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get started. So today, what I wanted to address, I don't have a title for, but let's move on and maybe somebody will come up with one. Seems to me that I'm here weekly, as in figuring out what am I going to talk about, my process. How do I decide? What ideas come to me? Where do those ideas come from? What tickles my fancy that day, that week, that second? I have actually started writing down ideas for topics, and so far I've got two. Neither of them sings to me today, so I'm still looking. I realize it's kind of like deciding there's a book in me. Would it be a complete cop-out if I were to say it's a gift? Which takes me on this whole other tangent, right? Gift. Okay, so I looked in my thesaurus about what that means, and I use my thesaurus a lot. So the definition for gift comes in two categories. The first, a gift is a talent, skill, flair, knack, aptitude. Two, a gift is a present, a souvenir, an award, a donation, a contribution. Going back to my process about discovering what my topic is going to be, it's a free-for-all. Last week's topic about my love of words came from Dr. Seuss's Nerd Word, which made its first documented appearance in his 1950 book, If I Ran the Zoo. Dr. Seuss was a genius in making up at least 65 words over a career that spanned 6 decades. And me, I just want to use the most appropriate word for the idea, dialogue, discussion, description, process that I'm writing about right now, for instance. In any definition for the word gift, I want to add this piece. Gifts, in the best sense, are freely given. I feel the universe gave me the gift of writing with no strings attached. I could write or not write. I did not earn this gift. I did not ask for this gift. It was just given to me like grace. And I feel a tremendous amount of gratitude for this gift. And even though I've been writing all my life, it wasn't until a few years ago that I finally utilized this gift. I've had manuscripts I've written all my life. There was no expectation from the universe, creator, God, source. It was mine to acknowledge or not. We all know when we've been freely given a gift without expectation for anything in return, when there are no strings attached. When this happens to me, I feel truly blessed and truly grateful. And so when I give a gift, I let it go to that person to do with what they will. I've got no hidden agenda. It's yours now, no longer mine. Some of us have probably been given gifts with a subtext, a hidden agenda, a tit for tat. A few years ago, AC and I were invited to dinner with an old friend and his new girlfriend who lavishly paid for our meals. When we were leaving, she said with this wonderful smile on her face, "Next time, it's your turn to pay." My insides froze and I processed. I felt nonplussed, then angry, then determined. For me, there would not be a next time with her. No strings attached. Not surprisingly, they broke up shortly afterwards. I am someone who acknowledges gifts freely given by the universe, God, source, creator. I pray for parking spaces. I thank the universe when I see a red-tailed hawk on a telephone wire. I'm someone who feels that words are gifts freely given. I'm grateful for words that touch my heart, make my voice shake, bring tears to my eyes. Words that bring me hope, peace, words that nourish me, words that anger me, words that dare me to action, words that peel away my skin, leaving me in a puddle of vulnerability, words that are spoken in carelessness, destroying someone's soul, words that are confusing, aching, indecisive, unpopular, weak, fearful, words that are spoken with joy, love, and encouragement, with wisdom. Here's a gift I received this week. Tomorrow I will continue to be, but you will have to be very attentive to see me. I will be a flower or a leaf. I will be in these forms and I will say hello to you. If you are attentive enough, you will recognize me and you may greet me. I will be very happy. These words were written by Thich Nhat Hanh, who died this week at age 95. And like Dr. Seuss, his work spanned decades. I've been reading this all week long and it brings me to tears each time. Oof. So this is my process this week. Gifts from people to us, from the universe, God, gifts freely given, freely received. The gift of music, poetry, books, movies. The gift of laughter. Those hugs you just lean into with your whole body, knowing that the person loves you so much. Gifts we were born with, have cultivated, developed as adults, did not use for a long time. Gifts that wait for us to open up deep inside us. Nature's gifts, a red-tailed hawk, the aurora borealis, the howl of the North Sea, chestnuts found on a Parisian street, a red rose hip from Lucy Muth. Gifts so freely given. Oops, I just scrolled too high. So if you have thoughts about gifts in your life, I'd love to hear from you. Down below in the description, you'll see a number of different ways you can drop me a line. I read every single note, so don't hesitate to send me your thoughts. Now, before we wrap up for today, AC has asked me to take a moment to fill you in on various business and practical matters. We're excited about our intentions and plans for 2022, and we hope that you will be as well. So just as an aside, I just want to say that this next part was written by AC. He's more detail-oriented than I am. Just saying. As I've mentioned, we are in the process of our initial editing of the next Walkville Desires book, the 8th in the series. This is a pretty intense process for us. Here's how it works. I'll usually go through several drafts between the time I begin a new book and the point where I feel I have the story put together more or less as it needs to be. At that point, I'll pass my manuscript along to AC, who prints out a copy and reads it, red pencil in hand, making notes along the way. The next step is for us to get together for a series of read-through sessions where, section by section, chapter by chapter, paragraph by paragraph, line by line, we read the manuscript aloud to identify and discuss the places that need to be revised further. Sometimes it's a simple fix, a typo, finding a better word, or reworking a phrase or a sentence. Sometimes we find something that needs more work. Usually we can sort it out there and then. Occasionally I have to go back and do more extensive rewrite and send him the results. As you might imagine, this work gets pretty intense, so it's not something we can do in 6 to 8 hours at a stretch. On a personal note, we do well in 2-hour stretches. Anything longer and I start getting cranky. This is where we are now, though. Once we finish this phase, AC will do a retype of the revised manuscript and we'll be ready to get it out to beta readers for their input. We expect to be getting copies to our betas in February. Once these manuscripts come back, we'll have another round of reviewing and editing based on readers' feedback. There are a million other pieces, large and small, which is in AC's province, to take care of before we're ready to release. Everything from formatting the completed manuscript for publishing to working with our cover artist to finalize the design. Plus, of course, the promotional materials and campaigns to get the word out. All this leads up to our expected release date for Book 8, Walkerville Desires Reflection. We expect to launch in mid to late spring. As soon as we have an exact date, I will be letting you know, so stay tuned. Now, before I go, AC did want me to remind you of one other thing, and that's that he's still working on expanding our roster of beta readers. So if that's something you might be interested in learning more about, be sure to send him a quick message at beta@ykmiyazaki.com with your contact information so he can get in touch with you to let you know more details. He's put that email address down below in the description for you today. That's your visit to my writer's room today. As always, thanks for your company, and I hope to see you again next Wednesday. And remember, if you know someone who you think would like to join us, please pass on my YouTube links. I always appreciate the chance to share my thoughts with new folks. And of course, new readers are always welcome as well. Far better than any advertising. It's a personal recommendation. So please do let your friends know about my work if you think they might enjoy it. There's a wealth of information in the description just below me here. To start, remember that YouTube counts everything, so it means a lot if you give us a thumbs up, and it's really helpful if you can subscribe to my channel by clicking that big red button. If you have any questions or comments, look for links to my Facebook or Instagram and my email address. You'll also find the address on my Amazon page where all the Walkerville books are available to purchase in both Kindle and print editions. AC will be adding the email address for folks interested in learning more about being a beta reader as well. And the direct link for next Wednesday's live chat is there. So again, thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of the day, and see you next Wednesday.
You're clear.